Hello everyone, good evening, welcome back. Not a lot of stuff happened today. We have a big drop. That's something to talk about. I did my password changes from yesterday I mentioned I was going to do, so that's all set. I am slapping my microphone as well, just adjusting it a little. And there was really no apparent reason as to why we just had to drop. We were starting the day off with a really good pump, which ended at around like 8 a.m. By the time it closed, it would have been midday. And from there, for whatever reason, we just decided to drop. So, okay, fine. It's fine. We're dropped now. Bitcoin is at 103,212, down 1.30% today relative to yesterday. So I was partially correct, partially incorrect, because I did enter a long bonus position. Generous $100 at 5x provided by the platform, and I put that in Susui, which is now losing $19. It did reach, based off of what I saw, a high of $19. We'll go and analyze that in just a moment here. I tried asking AI here, doesn't really mention too much. They mentioned that a Bitcoin whale known as Hyper has closed a $10 million position, but I don't think this really had much to do. We had a different set of amount, a different amount of liquidation that showed up in the market. And this is the kind of chart that we saw, right? A good pump in the beginning, and then a big drop. We were at 106,000. We dropped to a low of ultimately 102,292. People are saying a new pattern has dropped. You know, the Bart Simpson one? Looks like, what's her name? Maggie Simpson? I could be wrong. Marge Simpson. Maggie is a baby, I think. You get the point, right? In total, though, what is this? $200 million got liquidated in the crypto market during that whole drop. It's pretty significant. But, it was well contained. It seems like it's slowed down its drop for now. I guess we are still within a downtrend. You can absolutely agree with that over here. Do I even have a downtrend drawn over here? Not quite. There we go. So super trend is still on its way down. As of right now, it's setting its invalidation zone to 108,380, which I don't mind. I would rather this drop as much as it can, so that when we do eventually break out of it inevitably, it would be great. We have not hit our liquidation areas over here. We do see that there could be roughly $1 billion, I think, worth of liquidations once this gets hit. So that's a level to pay attention to. I know we're a bit on the lower side, maybe, of this whole range where Bitcoin has been, right? We're kind of at the middle over here. Midpoint is about 105,000. We're looking at about 100,000 to 110,000, maybe, right? As our little consolidation zone that we're currently experiencing in the past couple of... How long has this been? Since May. Last month, I guess. Past couple of weeks, you could say. We're slowing down. We do have a support level at 101,800. You could say 102,000. Now that's approximately where we slowed down over here. You know what? I'm not even going to entertain this uptrend anymore. It is absolutely broken. We need just to confirm where our low point will be. I've seen some people already on Twitter calling for a drop to 97,000, 95, 92. Could be possible, but I don't think we're there yet. Something, of course, fundamental would have to drive the price all the way down there. So, as of right now, the fundamentals are good. I know we've probably still got that little war thing going on, but there has been no recent news as of late. So that's kind of been pushed aside. The fear has already been priced in. Fear and greed index, if you have a look at it, it's like right below 50, right? In the fear zone. So markets are being cautious as to what is coming up next. I'm still bullish. I still think we're in this bull cycle. It has not ended yet. Bitcoin still deserves to make higher highs. I have projected 135,000. Others have projected 170, 180, even up to 200 or 220,000. Maybe that was a bit of an exaggeration, and was projected months ago. I'm going with the safe route and sticking with my 135,000 target, but I've been proving wrong in the channel before. I could be proven wrong once again. I just got proven wrong from yesterday to today, kind of. I said today we'd have a good pump, which we did, and then we just didn't. Like, all of a sudden. Literally. Like, I'm gonna go back over here for you guys, just to show you where we were at. Yesterday, 9 o'clock, which is 21 o'clock over here. We were about 104,000, right? Even my thumbnail says so. Around this area, and I said, you know what, we're gonna have a pump. And we did. And not just on Bitcoin. A lot of altcoins were all on the good side. We'll analyze them in a second. 2.19% pump for Bitcoin overall until 4:30 in the morning, and then we stayed up here for a very good period of time until about 9:45. That's when a big drop over here happened. A first drop of 1.89%, and then another one a little bit further down, another same amount, 1.80%. Low point of 102,292. And from there, we've already recovered 0.87% for Bitcoin's price action, at least. Yeah, really, I could not find a real reason as to why this dropped. Nonetheless, it's fine. I'm not losing any money. It's actually helping me, sort of. I do have a position open in Arrow, right? The price has started coming down once again. It didn't execute my second limit order over here, which it's unfortunate, but it's whatever, I guess. I could have had an order over here, but like I said before, I messed up in my entries. Probably won't do that again. And we're about $9 off from our break-even point, although I am paying about $22 in commission. So, yeah. I'm going to need this to drop a little bit more before I start considering taking some profits. Supertrend and validation, this is still in an uptrend, right? It's still at 64, so I mean, we could realistically say drop over here and hit my take profit target, which is going to pay me out $543. But depending on the circumstances, I don't know. We are going into the weekend, so that's good news for me specifically, because weekend is usually low volatility and, you know, prices tend to decay most of the time, right? Never trust a weekend pump is what they also say. So I'm expecting a drop nonetheless, and I could be taking some profits either Saturday or Sunday for this position. This line over here would have been my average price if this limit order would have been filled, but unfortunately that was not the case, like I said. If I did follow pivot levels over here, though, if I didn't just impulsively buy literally down over here at this candle, and I would have waited it out, I could have had a trigger order ready over here. That could have been purchased with a take profit over here, and would have already made some profit from that. I can tell you exactly how much, actually. 0.9465. I usually drop 1,000 as a short position. I don't want to do that. Take profit will be set to this other pivot level, 0.8392. I'm just going back in time retroactively to what I would have done, but obviously I didn't do it, so I'm being a little bit hypocritical, but you kind of get the point. Could have made 339 from a drop like that in a matter of, see, it executed here, and it initially dropped over here. Would have taken a day. One day, $339, not half bad. Maybe you paid, yeah, again, $20 or maybe $15 in funding and fees, but that's fine. Still, 300 plus. So, yeah, that's what I would have, should have, could have done. Nonetheless, didn't do it. Moving on. This was a big liquidation event for Ethereum, as we can see over here. We dropped from 2,549 all the way down, a 7% drop to $2,363.15 was our lowest point. We're now recovering from that drop. This liquidation got filled indeed. Shorters won, and Ethereum has finally flipped into a bearish super trend, meaning we are headed toward the downside for now. Although this was our highest point, wasn't it? What is this? This is 4,000? Really? Doesn't seem like that was that long ago. I could draw a downtrend if this level would be our newest high, right? I'm still got resistances drawn. That's how bearish I am on Ethereum. It's pretty funny. Let me just put this over here. Adjust that. And adjust this. There we go. So we kind of have that going on, although I think it might be a little too far. It does coincide with a couple of resistances, right? But I'm looking for something maybe a bit more short term. We did manage to slow down at this support level, right? 2003.58. Now we're just looking to where we can break any resistances to head back up into an uptrend once again. I think it might be a little too soon to tell. Maybe we will make a quick recovery, but then continue downwards over here to this uptrend. Could be the case. This uptrend is no longer valid. Why is it here? It broke through that, I guess. Yeah, it was valid at some point. I'm assuming I would have predicted a drop around this area to get bounced off of that support. But it broke through that uptrend. So we only have one more left that genuinely matters, which is this one from over here. The literal two lowest points from our overall recovery in Ethereum are very, very close up and coming over here. And breaking this uptrend would be absolutely devastating for Ethereum. And you've heard me say these words before for Ethereum, so I wouldn't put too much money on here just to kind of be on the safer side. It's way too risky to do this with Ethereum. I'm not liking what I'm seeing overall. But, I mean, this maintaining itself above was well received for Ethereum, right? I'm happy that it managed to stay up here for a very long time, defying the rest of the crypto market where everything else was flipping to a bearish super trend very frequently. Ethereum managed to hold strong until now. So we'll see how it continues to develop. This is a steep downtrend. I do have faith that we can easily recover from this. And hey, maybe we even break out of this downtrend, which is the most significant one that we currently have. Literally, there's no other downtrend after this one. That is where we can start seeing some great growth for Ethereum. But prove it to me first. Break out of these liquidations at 2,600, break out of resistance 2,800, and then you can talk to me about Ethereum reaching 3,000 and being up there once again. Hopefully soon. We'll see how it plays out. Solana is at $140, down 4.50%. Man, it just seems like Bitcoin drops 1%, everything else drops like 4 or 5%, whatever the case may be. I'm going to get rid of this. It's getting annoying a little resistance thing I have drawn. Liquidation event over here for Solana. Levels that we drew yesterday broke below 139, which was where our resistance was. We reached a low point of $135.56, quickly recovering 3.31% from there. Current price is 139.97, 140 almost, like I mentioned. And super trend has flipped bearish once again. With our resistance at our other short liquidation levels, we got big liquidation levels over here for short positions. But the long positions, they're gone. We got to reinforce our positions once again and reaccumulate before we start heading upwards once again. This uptrend broken, hence the super trend flip. And this downtrend prevails. I'm deleting this too. It's in the way for now. Indeed. So we'll see how this goes. This is unfortunate for Solana. No uptrend anymore from our recovery point. We need a new low point confirmed. Like we need a new bottom so that we can draw our very new fresh uptrend from here until wherever this bottom is. Who knows where that is. Just going to leave that over there. All right. Just so that I don't get confused in the future. I've confused myself sometimes with drawing an uptrend that points to nothing, literally just up in the air, and I've confused that with actual places of me putting trigger orders and stuff like that, so I gotta stop doing that. It's fine. Hey, XRP survived. Reached a low point of, what is this, 208 as well? Let me see this exact point, 208.42. Super trend did not flip bearish. Surprisingly. That means you can adjust this and still be in an uptrend for XRP. We still have a chance. It did not get mass liquidated over here, otherwise we'd see XRP drop below $2 once again, which would not have been ideal. You know, we're managing to see some good support over here. Wouldn't you agree? Like around over here, 206, 207, 208, 205. I don't know specifically where, but this seems to be a really good support. I want to draw that cube over here, the one that I deleted for Solana. How do I draw a cube? rectangle, whatever. Yeah, from here is looking good till here. This seems to be a really solid support based off what I'm seeing. So I'll keep that drawn. And a solid resistance that we're seeing for XRP as well happens to be about 230, which also coincides with these liquidation levels. What am I looking at here? Resistances? Okay, that's fair. We do need to see where resistances are for XRP. I'll lock this in place. Once again, crucial levels is breaking below this support. We'll get mass liquidation, possible drop to below $2. Have a trigger order ready over here. And on the contrary, if we see a 7% rise on XRP, which it's not likely unless there's fundamentals behind it, we could easily break out of this and break out of the 230 barrier. I don't think this is going to happen all at once. I'm thinking the growth will be slow and steady. It's going to take maybe 25 days. No, I'm kidding. That's too long. But yeah, it's going to take a while. It's not going to be an immediate pump like you'd always love to see, right? So, I mean, I could be proven wrong once again, but we would need fundamentals for me to concede to that belief. For now, uptrend still prevails on XRP, so it's generally a bullish outlook from here on upwards. We'll see how that goes. SUI is at 270 once again. We did see this low point over here being hit before. We reached a new low point, actually, 264, and it did not get liquidated over here, thankfully. Otherwise, possibly could have signified either a bounce from this uptrend or... No, I don't even think we have this uptrend. Once again, yeah, there you go. Me just drawing an uptrend over here for no reason. I was expecting this drop then. Maybe to do this, possibly. Liquidation levels for shorts. We have it above 305. Coincides directly there with that super trend. And I think we'll be consolidated over here for some time. So we should see this line flatten out for a moment. Like that. And meanwhile, price consolidates, gathers momentum once again, and starts heading upwards, breaking this downtrend that we have over here. Breaking out of these liquidation levels and starting to head higher once again. Hopefully that would be the case for SUI. Would also mean the breaking of a significant level at a psychological level, not significant, at 3 right over there. This could be the case. Maybe. Wishful thinking. We'll see how it plays out. Alright, and in terms of my bonus position, yeah, it's unfortunate. Where did I enter? Would have entered around here, wouldn't it? I swear I saw plus 19. Anyway, currently it's negative 19. Or probably it could have been plus 9. It could have been plus 9, honestly. I do remember seeing a 9 in there. This looks to be half of what is currently dropped. So it was probably $9 I was making. So a small correction there. Hey, look at that. Arrow is finally green. This is the first time I'm seeing this in green ever since I purchased it. Alright. Realistically, I could close it now, lose $10 and say screw this position. But we're on the verge of a drop anyways, and like I said, I'm expecting low volatility for this weekend and a price decay, so that should help reduce this as well, giving me some profit over the weekend. Although I'm probably going to go back on what I said about me waiting for this to reach. I don't know how likely that will be. I'm literally going to have to expect a 17% drop more after this 8% drop that has already taken place. I don't know if I'm going to be patient enough for that. Could be the case. You know, you never know. We've been much lower before, and a drop has gone on for a very long time before as well, just historically speaking, right? From our high point, we've been in a constant downtrend for 27 days, one whole month. But you got to keep in mind this was in the month of May. Was the month of May any good at all? Probably not. Month of May... I mean, you kind of got the same deal here for Bitcoin, right? May was alright. May we did reach new highs, so I wouldn't say it was necessarily a bad month. Arrow was likely just doing its own thing. Just trying my best to compare it to Bitcoin versus altcoins, but Arrow clearly does its own thing. Litecoin is our next coin to analyze. We are still in a downtrend. No surprise for this drop. Support at 80 seemed to have held well. $80.91 was our lowest point of today. We've recovered up to 83.27. We're still looking for that resistance at 87. Yeah. All right. Not much else to say about Litecoin. I didn't see any news about it. Yeah. And Cardano, our last coin, down 3.20%, priced at 58 cents. And finally, my trigger order got filled, if you'll notice. Because I kept complaining about, oh, my trigger order is like right over here. Maybe I should increase it to over here, or maybe just buy over here. Patience paid off, finally. Had a drop over here, and this position is either neutral or slightly in profit. What else did I buy? I don't think I bought anything else. I think I had some stop losses close on me in positive. So I'm gonna have to go put those orders back in if I'm still expecting a drop for the weekend. Yeah, alright. I don't know. I'll see what I do. Still gotta analyze my entries. In terms of resistance, 64 cents is what you're looking at. And this uptrend is gone. I pressed delete. And what did I do? I pressed delete and then I pressed end. Okay, I was thinking like I did not hit page down on my keyboard. Why did it go scrolling down? Arrow is making us some bucks right now. I could probably close this at break even slightly. I don't want to. I'll be greedy with it. I'll go for the profit and see what happens. Alright, hey. With low volatility, I still managed to give you a great analysis and 20 minutes worth of content. Hope you enjoyed that. Leave a like. What is tomorrow, Saturday? Are we celebrating anything soon? I don't think we are. Like, what is the upcoming holiday? Where is my phone? Oh, where is my phone? Is it in my pocket? Oh, it's over here. It was on top of a book. The book I was reading that I uploaded. Sui position auto closed. It just did. Okay, well, rip Sui. What else we got? Oh yeah, I was gonna check calendar. I have a doctor's appointment. National Indigenous Holiday. Nobody celebrates that. And then Canada Day, July 1st. And we'll have any to go with that with. Nothing else in July. Maybe some birthdays. August, and maybe more birthdays. Civic holiday. That's in Canada, though. What about US? I don't know. I don't care about US anymore. Alright, cool. Moving on. Let's go talk about some of our news. So Trump came out with this wall of text today. He's been going on a crazy rant recently. I say crazy in a good way because I'm absolutely loving this. Literally bashing Powell once again. It just seems like he can't get over the fact that the rates were not cut. So he posted this. Too late, Powell. He's complaining about costs, much of which were produced by the Biden fake government. But he could do the biggest and best job for our country by helping to lower interest rates. And if he reduced them to the number they should be, which is 1% to 2%, that numbskull would be saving the United States of America up to $1 trillion per year. He called Powell too late and numbskull. I fully understand that my strong criticism of him makes it more difficult for him to do what he should be doing, lowering rates, but I've tried it in all different ways. I've been nice, I've been neutral, and I've been nasty and nice and neutral didn't work. Okay, wait, what? I've been neutral, I've been nasty and nice, and neutral didn't work. Okay, what? He's a dumb guy. And an obvious Trump hater. He was appointed by Trump, though. Who should have never been there. Yeah, once again, appointed by Trump, by the way. I listened to someone that I shouldn't have listened to. Oh, that's why. And Biden shouldn't have reappointed him. Now also putting Biden on the blame. We have virtually no inflation. Our economy is doing really well. And will soon be doing with the tremendous tariff income coming in and factories being built all over the country better than it has ever done before. Which I agree with. I don't agree with the fact, with the Fed projections that came out, by the way. They were pointing at reducing the country's GDP and increasing the country's inflation over time because of the tariffs specifically, which he literally blamed Trump for. So now this is Trump just countering that argument, I suppose, with facts. I do think this could make sense. The tariffs will be a good thing for the country in the long term, and I've said this before. But, I mean, if he was concerned with the short term, Powell, this is, yeah, I mean, not cutting rates is the right move. But if you know in the long term that things will get better, as long as, of course, we trust in Trump and nothing goes south, then yeah, I mean, reduce the interest rates. Help the country save trillions of dollars, $1 trillion per year. But he's clearly just trying to play it safe, and I don't know how much more economic data the guy needs to ultimately make the decision. Like, you know what? Yeah, it's actually not as bad as expected. I mean, we're seeing the results right now, even as, all these companies have not yet come into the United States to build their factories and provide more jobs for the American people. Um, the economy is still doing really well, considerably well. Where did I leave off? Better than it has been ever. If he was concerned about inflation or anything else, then all he has to do is bring the rate down so we can benefit on interest costs. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Hold your horses. This is where, if he's concerned about inflation, all he has to do is reduce interest rates. Reducing interest rates would increase the inflation, though, wouldn't it? Anyway, he's saying that so that we can benefit on interest costs. It will raise it in the future when and if these other elements happen, which I doubt they will. Okay, I see the argument here. So he's telling him, okay, reduce the interest rates, which is going to cause inflation, right? Well, we'll see. Give it some time. And if you see that it is causing inflation, the interest rate reduction, that is, then you're free to start increasing those interest rates once again. But Trump doubts that that will happen because he has so much faith in these tariffs that will do good for the economy rather than bad, is what it seems like. Don't say that you think there will be inflation sometime in the future, because there isn't now. But if there is, raise the rates. You should be at the top of the attached list, not the bottom. I don't know why the board doesn't override this total and complete moron. Maybe, just maybe, I'll have to change my mind about firing him. But regardless, his term ends shortly. And this is also something I mentioned before. 2026 is when Jerome Powell, literally. When does Jerome Powell term end? May 2026. There you go. That's the exact time. Great. Okay. I agree with Trump on this. 100%. Alright, cool. That's all we really have to say about this. Fed Waller, who had a speech today. Did he speak today? We could check on the calendar. I think it was today. Fed Waller. Was it yesterday? It could have been yesterday. Show me stuff of this week. Could have been Wednesday. I remember him speaking at some point. Am I blind? Okay. Waller. Monday, June 23. Okay, never mind. I thought I saw something about him speaking today. Guess not. Saying that the interest rates could begin as early as July is what Fed Waller says. I don't think they will. I still think Powell is going to keep it safe. Or maybe, I don't know, who knows? Maybe this whole Trump on Powell, the pressure that he's putting on him, will just get to him at some point. 39 days. When's the next meeting? July 30. Yeah, okay, so it is July, but it's at the end of July. That's why it seems like a very long time. 89% chance rates get kept, not cut. And we're expecting the rate cut the month after that in September. That's at least what the FOMC Fed Watch is projecting. 78% chance we get a cut in September. Keep the rates for October. And 84% chance we cut them once again in December. There's your two rate cuts for 2025 is what most of the market is projecting. It's already priced in, so this had no relative impact on the market. And also what the other Fed people say is it's not that relevant compared to what the Fed chair says, literally, Powell, right? His words are more important than the rest. At least what it seems like. Polymarket predicting an 89% chance the stablecoin bill, the Genius Act, will be signed into law as early as this year, 2025. That's bullish for stablecoins, right? more adoption, more money flowing in. And in terms of the one big beautiful bill, still has to get passed. So they're outlining once again for the people why the one big beautiful bill will be a good thing. It will strengthen the military. It will work for Medicaid and benefits for the illegal aliens, 1.4 million of them. There will be no tax dollars for transgender surgeries in adults and children. And it's a pro-worker, pro-family, pro-America thing because you will also get those tax cuts on tips and on overtime, I think it was, and Social Security. And if not, then there's just going to be equivalent to a tax hike. That being said, this is one of the reasons why Doge kind of crumbled. Not really, but the head of it, Elon Musk, had a falling out with the government because of this extra spending that the one big beautiful bill would possibly cause. That is probably why Trump is really pressuring Powell to cut those rates so that he could save money elsewhere. And there's other tactics that Trump is trying to use as well to save money elsewhere, probably to offset the costs of the one big beautiful bill. The U.S. national debt has surpassed $37 trillion for the first time in history, so that just keeps on rising. And speaking of Trump and Caroline Leavitt, she spoke on his behalf talking about this whole Iran situation, which Trump has said that he will make his decision whether or not to go to war within the next 2 weeks. Which, overall, sure, that's fine. We're delaying the thing. I mentioned this before. We're going to give it a couple of weeks. And, just to see what happens. But of course, Israel is trying to keep the pressure on to get the United States involved, it seems like. They're saying something along the lines of, Iran is literally 15 days away from an atomic bomb. So yes, you have to get involved. But I'm pretty sure nobody wants that. Nobody really wants it. Really. Alright, that's all for world news. Talk about crypto news here a bit. Cardone Capital, which is a $65 billion company, has acquired an additional 150 bitcoins worth $15.6 million, stacking while they can. Pretty cool. Good for them. Coinbase has secured an MiCA license. I forget what exactly this means. Something about crypto assets. I could search it up. It's a group of silicate minerals known for their layered structure. No, what the heck is it? Europe. It's a Europe thing. Markets and crypto assets regulation. That's what it means. They got their license in Luxembourg, and they're designating that now as their primary EU hub for Coinbase. They're moving their operations away from Ireland, for the European region specifically. So, good. All right. Well, maybe it'll give better leeway for regulatory requirements for the European people, because we know how restrictive it is over there. So I'm sure they did it for the good. For the overall good of their platform. Mexico's third richest man. I've talked about this guy before. Ricardo Salinas Pliego. He has a lot of Bitcoins, and he's increased his Bitcoin allocation to 70% of his portfolio being in Bitcoin. This guy is very bullish on Bitcoin, which we can all be thankful for. But, I mean, we also need Bitcoin, so try to hoard on to as much as you can. Speaking of billionaires, rich people, did you know that Pavel Durov, CEO of Telegram and Tron Blockchain, Ton Blockchain, sorry. Tron is Justin Sun, that's somebody else, forgive me. Ton Blockchain, which has been performing pretty bad, I'd say, ever since he got arrested in France. Can I go to like a weekly chart? Okay, well, oh, it's USDC. Nobody uses USDC. Can I like filter out USDC? Ton USDT. It just flipped. I just saw that. Did you see that? Ton. I clicked. You see that? It's flipping. Why are you flipping? All right. This is what I'm looking for. Ignore this little blip over here. That's nothing. So it had a good rise, reaching a high of $8.28 on June 2024. This was after Bitcoin made its first rise to 74,000, March 2024. And Toncoin was one of those coins that just kept on outshining everything else. Everybody's like, what is this Toncoin? It just keeps on rising and it keeps going higher even after Bitcoin had made its drop. And it was also performing very well over here. Ultimately, of course, until CEO gets arrested. Actually, this happened over here. It dropped to this low point of $4.40, right? What, you thought that was the worst point of the coin? Think again. We're now worth $2.19. It sucks to see, but Toncoin really fell off, and it had to do with Pavel Durov's arrest initially, because of them now wanting him to leak encrypted data to government officials so that we know who the illegal people are, because there's illegal activity going on Telegram, on Telegram, not on Ton. But Ton blockchain itself, like, it had dogs USDT going on for them. It had not. It had the hamster thing. It was getting very well involved in crypto, so it was looking good. But yeah, whatever. There's just your brief little Matthew summary on Ton blockchain. Anyways, so this guy, Pavel Durov, he's the CEO of that company. Talk about him a lot. He's going to plan to split his $14 billion fortune, that's how much he's worth, to his 106 children. That's right. 106 kids this guy has. A young guy, 106 kids. That is a lot. And he has no wife. He's never been married. He says he doesn't believe in marriage, according to Grok. He says that it's an outdated concept. He plans to stay unmarried. He has over 100 children, including 6 from personal relationships with multiple partners, and others from sperm donations. Okay, that's why. That's not surprising. Across 12 countries. Claims of civil marriage by Irina Bolgar, mother of 3 of his children, are not legally recognized, and Durov has not confirmed them. Man, this guy's just, spreading his wealth in many ways, I guess. RoboTaxi by Tesla will be launching on June 22nd in Austin, Texas. There's already reports of people seeing RoboTaxis out in the wild. Right? RoboTaxi in Austin. Like, people are noticing, like, oh, there's a car that's just driving, a homeless guy literally yelling at a manless car. People are noticing these cars just driving on their own. Literally nobody driving inside this car. And it says, look at this. It says RoboTaxi over here. Right? That's a pretty cool little touch. There's one guy over there, but he's in the passenger seat. He's not driving. Right? So it's cool. It's starting to roll out very soon, launching June 22. That'll be good overall, I guess, for Tesla specifically. I don't think we saw any rise in the news from it yet. Or maybe it's already been priced in. I have not kept up with the price action of Tesla. I really have to update that bookmark. It's getting annoying. It's 322, the current price. Yeah, not a lot of movement for it. But I still think Tesla is of such an undervalued company that deserves to go for much higher. I bought this at 378. How delusional. How delusional. I did buy at 220 as well, though, so pay me respects where due. Please and thank you. I don't remember where I sold. Probably, like, over here. Whatever. Me reminiscing on my old trades doesn't matter. Get out of here. And Canada record high, I think. Is this a record high? Surely it is. 12% increase from 1 year ago. 520,000 Canadians now receiving unemployment insurance. Unemployment benefits. It's just so hard to find a job these days, isn't it? And we need mass migration to fill the jobs. Yes, that's right. Okay. Look where we are, guys. Why are we panicking? Look where we are. We're all the way up there. We're literally up there. You should not be panicking about this. Zoom out of the charts every once in a while. It gives a good refreshing look as to, you know what, Bitcoin is indeed going to go up forever. Just maybe not from here. Maybe we drop a little more, but, it's beside the point. This went negative again. I should have sold at break even. It's fine. I do expect it to drop, like I said, over the weekend, so I'll wait for that to drop. And yeah, that's about all I've got for you guys today. I ran out of news. I don't know if I'll be live tomorrow. Not sure if there will be enough to cover. I'll always find a way. I'll try to be on if I can, though. That's for sure. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Yep. Nothing else that comes to mind for now. Thanks so guys so much. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thank you.